On December 24th, 2025, Chestnut Street glows with Christmas cheer, except for one house. Every window on the block sparkles with colored lights, wreaths hang on doors, and laughter spills out onto the frosty air. But at the end of the row, one house remains shrouded in darkness, its windows blank, its porch empty. The contrast is striking, almost jarring, a silent island in a sea of celebration. Margaret's home is dark, untouched by holiday spirit. No wreath, no lights, just the scent of old books and dust. The air inside is heavy, still, as if the house itself is holding its breath. Shelves sag under the weight of forgotten novels, and the only movement is the slow drift of dust motes in the pale afternoon light. The world outside is alive, but here, time seems to have stopped. For Margaret, this day is not a celebration, but an anniversary of a promise made 41 years ago. She sits in her faded armchair, a cold cup of tea beside her, lost in silence. The chair's fabric is worn, shaped by years of quiet evenings spent alone. She gazes at the wall, her thoughts drifting back to a time when hope and heartbreak collided on a night much like this. The world outside burst with joy, but inside, time stands still. Margaret, 70, never married, never had other children. The laughter of children echoes faintly through the glass, a distant memory she can never quite touch. She watched the lights flicker on her neighbors' homes, each one a reminder of the life she might have had. Her life is a quiet routine, her sorrow carefully hidden. Neighbors think she dislikes the holidays, never guessing the depth of her grief. They pass by her house with polite nods, never stopping to wonder why her windows are always dark. To them, she is simply the quiet woman at the end of the street, a mystery wrapped in silence. The darkness is her vigil, the silence her ritual. She closes her eyes, feeling the ache of a choice made long ago. Each year she marks this night not with celebration, but with remembrance. The quiet is both a comfort and a punishment, a space where she can feel the weight of her memories without interruption. Each Christmas Eve, she remembers the life she gave away. The pain is familiar, a companion she cannot let go. She holds an old photograph, its edges worn, the faces faded but never forgotten. In the stillness, she whispers a name, a promise, and wonders if somewhere, someone else is remembering too. The world celebrates, but Margaret mourns. This is how she remembers. While laughter and music fill the night outside, she sits in the gentle hush of her memories, honoring a love and a loss that shaped her life. For Margaret, Christmas is not a season of joy, but a night of quiet devotion, a silent vigil for what was and what will never be again. Suddenly, a sound breaks the silence, a silence so deep it feels almost sacred, wrapping the room in a heavy stillness. The only other sound is the faint ticking of the old clock, echoing through the dimly lit space. 3 soft knocks on the front door, gentle, hesitant, but unmistakable. Each knock seems to vibrate through the floorboards, stirring the air. Margaret's heart lurches, her breath catching in her throat. No one visits her on Christmas Eve. The world outside is cold and silent, and she sits frozen, listening, wondering if it was just the wind or her imagination playing tricks. The memory of past holidays flickers in her mind, both comforting and painful, but the silence returns, heavier than before, pressing in on her from all sides. Curiosity stirs, a feeling she hasn't known in years, mingling with a strange sense of anticipation. She glances at the old family photo, remembering laughter that once filled these walls. Slowly, she rises, joints aching, and shuffles to the door. Each step is deliberate, her body heavy with age and uncertainty. She doesn't turn on the light or call out, afraid to break the fragile spell of the moment. Hand on the cold brass knob, she hesitates. The metal chills her skin, grounding her in the present. Ear pressed to the wood, she hears only her own heartbeat, loud and insistent, as if urging her forward. She considers walking away, preserving her solitude, letting the moment pass like so many before. But something deeper holds her there, a flicker of hope, fragile but persistent, whispering that perhaps this night could be different. With a shaky breath, she decides. The weight of years and memories presses on her, but she finds the strength to move. She will open the door, no matter what waits on the other side. The ritual is broken. The past is closer than ever, mingling with the present in the hush of the night. She turns the knob, heart pounding, and lets possibility in. The cold doorknob takes her back to Christmas Eve, 1983, Chicago. Young Margaret stands in Union Station, clutching a baby boy, her son, alone, judged, abandoned. She believes leaving him is her only act of love. She tucks a note and a silver locket into his blanket. His name is Daniel. Please, take care of him. I love him. Tears freezing on her cheeks, she places him on a bench and walks away. She doesn't look back. Every step is agony, but she believes it's for his future. The city swallows her grief. That night, she loses her son and herself. Christmas becomes a memorial, not a celebration. The memory never fades. Daniel grows up in Indiana, shuffled through foster homes. Christmas is the hardest. He longs for family, not gifts. His only keepsake, a silver locket, his only wish, to know his mother. He imagines her, wonders if she thinks of him. The story he tells himself, she loved him enough to let him go. Each Christmas, the ache grows. The foster system gives him shelter, but not roots. He is a puzzle missing its first piece. The longing never fades. As an adult, Daniel drives a city bus in Fort Wayne. Routine comforts him, but the emptiness lingers. He tried marriage, but the void inside was too great. His apartment is sparse, the locket his only heirloom. Each December the ache returns. He is a ghost among families. He accepts his unfinished story, but the question remains. Who is he? Where did he come from? The melody of belonging is always just out of reach. Everything changes with a joke in the bus depot break room. A co-worker suggests a DNA test. Maybe he'll find royalty. For Daniel, it's about finding anyone. He hesitates, fearing the truth, but the longing wins. He orders the kit. The box sits on his counter for days. Finally, he swabs, seals, and mails it. His question sent into the world. The weight is agonizing. The locket in his drawer feels heavier. He wonders if he's ready for the answer, but he's tired of being a ghost. The test is his leap into the unknown. All he can do now is wait. Weeks pass. Then the email arrives. Your DNA results are in. Daniel opens it, hands trembling, charts, percentages. Then, under DNA relatives, parent-child match, a name, Margaret Miller, 99 king to 98% match. His mother, she's real, she's in Ohio. She took the test years ago, never logged in again. Why? Was she searching too? He finds her address, a small town he's never heard of. Elation and fear collide. He learns he's her only child. She's kept the secret all these years. He's not replacing anyone, but he's about to change everything. He requests time off work. He decides he'll go on Christmas Eve. The journey he's waited for his whole life begins. The locket is in his pocket. The story is about to come full circle. He drives toward the answer, toward home. Margaret's secret is a fortress built over decades. She returned to Ohio, never speaking of the baby or Chicago. Grief became her shadow, her sacrifice both salvation and sentence. She took a DNA test on a whim, hoping for closure, finding none. She never imagined he'd find her. Christmas is her memorial, not a holiday. The silence and darkness are her tribute to Daniel. She loved him enough to let him go, and mourns him every year. On Christmas Eve, Margaret stands in the warm glow of her hallway, her hand trembling as she reaches for the doorknob. The world outside is hushed, blanketed in snow, the air thick with anticipation and the scent of pine drifting in from the wreath on her door. For years, she has waited for this moment, her heart both hopeful and afraid of what she might find on the other side. A man stands on her porch, tall, with kind eyes that seem to hold 1,000 unspoken stories, his dark hair flecked with gray at the temples. He is bundled against the cold, but his presence radiates warmth. He clutches his hat in both hands, knuckles white, shifting his weight from foot to foot. There is a nervous energy about him, but also a glimmer of hope, as if he's been waiting for this night as long as she has. Their eyes meet, and for a moment, time seems to stand still. They search each other's faces, looking for traces of the past, for the child she lost, and the mother he dreamed of. In his eyes, she sees something achingly familiar, a reflection of her own. Recognition flickers between them, fragile but undeniable. Daniel's heart pounds in his chest, his breath catching as he tries to find the right words. The years apart have left him uncertain, but the longing in his eyes says everything. He sees before him a woman marked by sorrow and resilience, her shoulders slightly stooped, her eyes shining with unshed tears. She is smaller than he imagined, but somehow stronger too. With a trembling hand, he steps forward, holding out a silver locket that glints in the porch light, a token from a distant past, a bridge between what was lost and what might be found. "I believe this belongs to you," he says, his voice thick with emotion, each word heavy with years of longing and regret. Margaret's world stops. The locket is real. He is real. The memories she's clung to, the hope she's dared not speak, all come rushing back in a single overwhelming moment. Tears blur her vision. The fortress she built around her heart begins to crumble, letting in the light of possibility. "Daniel," she whispers, her voice trembling. Not a question, but a truth finally spoken aloud. He nods, tears streaming down his face, unable to speak, but saying everything in that simple gesture. In the doorway, mother and son close the distance of a lifetime, their embrace filled with all the words they never had the chance to say. The once silent house on Chestnut Street is no longer empty. Laughter and voices fill the rooms, echoing down the hallways where only memories lived before. The long vigil is over, the silence is finally broken. Christmas, at last, is a homecoming, a reunion not just of family, but of hope, forgiveness, and love that endures across the years. Christmas Eve 1983, snow-blanketed Cleveland, and inside St. Mary's Hospital, 19-year-old Margaret Lewis cradled her newborn son. She named him Daniel, a secret name, whispered only to him. Alone and with nothing, Margaret wanted more for Daniel than she could give. Holding him close, she memorized every detail, knowing she'd soon say goodbye. She kissed his forehead, inhaled his baby scent, and handed him to the nurse. On a night meant for family, Margaret became profoundly alone. Inside, a mother's love lingered, invisible but unbroken. Margaret built a quiet life as a librarian, known for her gentle smile and solitude, but every Christmas, her heart ached for the son she'd given away. She never married, never had other children. Daniel remained her secret sorrow. Each December, she lit a single white candle in her window, a silent beacon for the boy she hoped was safe and loved. Friends saw her as private, never guessing the depth of her loss. Christmas was not a celebration, but an anniversary of absence. Alone, she mourned and hoped, letting herself grieve only on Christmas Eve. Over the years, her pain dulled but never disappeared. The world saw contentment. Inside, she carried a vast, empty space shaped like her son. Her ritual was her only connection, a yearly act of remembrance and love. The candle's flame flickered against the darkness, a small hope in the long winter. Margaret's life was orderly, but her heart remained unfinished. She waited, year after year, for a sign that her sacrifice had meant something, and always she wondered if Daniel ever thought of her too. December 2024, Margaret sat at her kitchen table scrolling through her laptop when an email appeared, looking for Margaret Lewis, born 1964. Her heart pounded as she read the message from a man named Daniel, born Christmas Eve 1983 in Cleveland. He'd found her through DNA testing. He wasn't angry, he just wanted to know if she was his mother. Margaret stared at the screen, fear and hope colliding inside her. For 2 days, she couldn't reply. The secret she'd guarded for decades was suddenly exposed. Finally, she typed, "Yes, I am your mother. I have thought of you every day for 41 years. She hit send, her hands shaking. Relief and terror washed over her. The silence was broken. The story was no longer hers alone. She waited breathless for his reply. The door to her past had opened, and she had no idea what would come next. Margaret realized her life was about to change forever. The years of longing and regret had led to this moment. She braced herself for whatever would follow, reunion or rejection. For the first time, hope felt real. The wait for Daniel's answer began. They met in a quiet coffee shop, strangers bound by blood and 41 years of silence. Margaret spotted Daniel by the window, dark hair, kind eyes, so much like his father. "Daniel?" she whispered. He stood, uncertain but hopeful. "Margaret." No dramatic embrace, just two people, awkward and overwhelmed, sharing space for the first time since his birth. They sat, studying each other, a universe of questions between them. Daniel spoke first, sharing his life, loving adoptive parents, a career as a history teacher, a wife, 2 daughters. He was happy. Margaret felt relief. Her sacrifice had given him the life she'd hoped for. Gently, he asked why. She told him everything, her fear, her love, her impossible choice. Tears fell, but Daniel listened, patient and kind. When she finished, he reached across the table, covering her hand with his. "Thank you for giving me my life," he said. In that moment, Margaret's heart began to heal. The wound of 41 years softened. They were no longer strangers, but mother and son, finally connected. The past was painful, but the future felt possible. Margaret saw hope in Daniel's eyes. The silence between them was filled with understanding. Their story was no longer one of loss, but of reunion. The first hello was quiet, but it changed everything. A new chapter had begun. As they talked, Margaret revealed her secret ritual. Every Christmas, she lit a candle and made an anonymous donation to a foster home in Daniel's honor. It was her way of loving him from afar, year after year. Daniel was moved to tears. He'd always felt something missing during the holidays. Knowing she'd been thinking of him, loving him in her own way, filled a void he hadn't understood. The thread between them had never broken, it had just been invisible. Margaret's acts were not penance, but proof of enduring love. Daniel realized he hadn't been abandoned, he'd been cherished, even from a distance. The story shifted from loss to sacrifice, from absence to connection. Margaret's love had shaped his life, even when he didn't know it. The donations were tangible evidence. He was never forgotten. For both, the truth was healing. They were, and always had been, bound by love. Daniel invited Margaret to dinner, eager for her to meet his family. She arrived, nervous, and was greeted warmly by Sarah, Daniel's wife, and their 2 daughters. The girls, Emily and Jessica, were shy at first, but soon welcomed Margaret as family. Margaret watched Daniel with his wife and daughters, saw the love, the laughter, the life he'd built. Her sacrifice had given him this happiness. As the evening ended, Sarah hugged Margaret. "Thank you for giving me my husband. You're part of our family, now." Margaret drove home, tears of gratitude streaming down her face. For the first time, she felt whole. She hadn't just found her son, she'd found a family. The years of loneliness had led to this moment of belonging. Margaret realized her love had come full circle. She was no longer alone. The family she'd dreamed of was real. Her place at their table was secure. The pain of the past was replaced by the joy of connection. Margaret's heart overflowed with gratitude, flowed with. Christmas morning, 2025. Margaret woke in Daniel's home to laughter, not loneliness. She joined the family downstairs, her granddaughters opening presents, Daniel in a Santa hat, Sarah filming the chaos. Margaret stood in awe. This was the life she'd dreamed for her son. Daniel handed her coffee. "Merry Christmas, Mom." The word warmed her heart. Jessica gave her a small wrapped box, a silver locket. Inside, a baby photo of Daniel and a recent family picture. Margaret's eyes filled with tears. The locket symbolized her past and present, finally united. This was her first real Christmas, filled with love, not loss. The silence of 41 winters was broken by family joy. Margaret felt truly at home. The day was no longer about what was lost, but what had been found. Her family was together at last. Later, Margaret and Daniel sat together on the porch, the winter air crisp around them. Margaret apologized for the years apart, for the pain and the questions. Daniel took her hand. "There's nothing to forgive. You gave me a chance at a wonderful life." He spoke of his adoptive parents, the love they gave him, a gift from her. "You didn't abandon me. You saved me." His words lifted the guilt she'd carried for decades. Margaret saw herself not as the woman who gave her child away, but as the one who gave him a future. Forgiveness was freely given, and her heart felt lighter. The shame and sorrow began to fade. Daniel's grace was the greatest gift she could receive. The past was no longer a burden. Margaret finally allowed herself to heal. Forgiveness, given and received, was the true miracle of Christmas. That evening, the family gathered by the fire, laughter and warmth filling the room. Margaret, surrounded by her son and granddaughters, felt a peace she'd never known. The years of loneliness and longing were over. She realized Daniel had never been unloved, just lost for a time. Her hope and his search had brought them together. The threads of family had endured, stronger than time or distance. Healing was possible, even from the deepest wounds. Margaret's heart was full, her family complete. The miracle wasn't just reunion, but the love that survived the years apart. Lost is not unloved. Sometimes, love just takes a lifetime to find its way home. And on this Christmas, Margaret was finally home.